Hello everyone, Arrtx here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be reviewing Arrtx's colored pencil set. In the last review video, we did the acrylic marker set, so this time around we are doing their colored pencil set. It is 126 pencils in one pack, and I will do my best to have a variety of colors in these sketches because it is important to compare and contrast different colors when it comes to different pencils in the same set, of course. But before we continue with the review, I just want to say happy fall. It is one of my favorite seasons of the year, and I always make sure to decorate for the occasion, and also you'll see it in the next few videos. But I will also be vlogging a little bit, having a very cozy and relaxing few videos, which I'm going to try and do. So you'll see a lot more art and kind of like daily life vlogging style videos as well to really celebrate the season of fall. And of course, you'll just see a lot more content from me in general. I will try to diversify my content here on YouTube. So I will always say this over and over again, but thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I hope you enjoy the review video. Arrtx is so kind enough to also send me these colored pencils, and I am very grateful for their support of the channel. So thank you so much, Arrtx. I pretty much have very good opinions and thoughts about these pencils, and this is coming from someone who doesn't normally use colored pencils on a daily basis. The most I'll probably use the colored pencils for, which is exactly what you're seeing in this video, is for sketching. I do like how they look whenever I do sketches because I like the soft look of colored pencils and just pencils in general. But what's nice about certain colored pencils, just like these ones, is that they don't smudge that much, and that's kind of important when it comes to pencil is, well, depending on how you use it, of course, but sometimes it's nice to not have smudgy pencil all over in your sketchbook. I've done another spread with these pencils already in this same sketchbook, and I haven't shown it in this video for some reason, but I have a whole page that I've already dedicated some sketches using these pencils, and over time they did start to smudge because once you're drawing on the other sides of the paper or of the sketchbook, some of the pencil start to transfer onto the other side of the page, especially if you have a whole spread for colored pencil drawings. So that's one thing to keep in mind, but a really good solution is to just put paper in between those pages so that they don't transfer. But otherwise, I love the way that these pencils look as well. I'm not sure if I caught it properly on camera, but each of these pencils have like these cute star designs on them, and they are absolutely adorable. I haven't seen any other pencil that do that. Usually it just shows their logo and sometimes a barcode if you are buying these pencils separately, which I don't think these particular pencils are sold separately, like per pencil. I don't think so. But for these pencils, they have the little stars and they're so cute. I love them. And for these sketches, I try my best to stick with the same color for each sketch. Let me actually explain what I'm drawing as well. So for the Halloween season and for the fall season altogether, I kind of mix the two because they're kind of related to each other. I'm drawing witches. So I'm drawing like a variety of different witches because I feel like witches are a good subject matter to play around with and decorate, and you can have so many different variations of witches. You can have girl witches, boy witches, you can have cute witches, spooky witches. Like, I feel like it's a good variety, and that's why I decided to use that for my subject matter in this review video because it gives a little bit more creativity. It fits within the season, and I feel that I would be able to use a variety of different colors as well to really test out these pencils and how good they are. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I've also done witches in the past already for the season, but I've been coloring them with like markers or, you know, just regular pen sketches, but not with colored pencils yet. And so far, I do love how soft the lead is against the paper. It's very soft. I'm using the same sketchbook I've always been using so far, which is the Moleskine sketchbook. Everything that I've used in this video will be listed down below if you are ever curious. But yeah, pretty much I love the way that this, like the lead of the pencil kind of glides across the paper, and no matter how soft or hard you draw with it, there's always going to be some sort of mark. I feel that with other companies, when you use colored pencil, even if you draw super lightly, sometimes the pencil marks don't even show on the paper at all, and that's pretty much because it depends on how hard or soft the lead is in general. Like, I can tell that these pencils have softer lead, which means that they are more easy to lay onto the page, which means if you are sketching oh so lightly, then you are able to see those marks no matter what. And I feel that this is a good thing, because if you have a lighter hand and you are able to, or you want to sketch lightly, you're able to do so. That's kind of what I'm doing here. Like, I'm kind of laying down the groundwork of the sketch very lightly, and then I go back either with the same pencil or a different pencil, and I sketch a little bit harder to create a darker color for it, like a darker line to it. And I also appreciate the versatility of these pencils too. Like, with the same pencil that you're using, you can either go as light or as dark as you want. And sometimes I do sketch a little hard onto the paper, like how I'm doing right now. Like, I'm sketching very hard on the paper to achieve that dark line. But if you don't want to do that, a tip is to layer your pencil marks on the same section over and over again until you achieve the darkness of the sketch that you want, or the darkness of the color that you want. That way it also doesn't leave a big impression on the paper itself. I'm kind of guilty about sketching really hard because I'm an artist that really loves dark sketches. I'm not really a light sketcher per se, unless if I have to use it as groundwork, and that I will be able to use pen over it to line art that sketch. But other than that, I do like when my sketches are dark and bright so that you're able to see it better. I hope that makes sense, because I don't know, I feel like the type of style of art that I have, it's like, because it's so cartoony and so bold and expressive and bright, like I feel that if I sketch lightly, it doesn't do my sketch justice, I guess. I'm not sure if I have the same, like you guys have the same problem as me about sketching very darkly, unless if, like I already mentioned, unless if I need to erase the pencil later to erase and like line art that sketch. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but if like I need that as like a skeleton or a groundwork to build upon it later on, then I will just sketch very hard with the intention of me not erasing it. That was a whole lot of talking there about that one thing, but I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. But with these particular colored pencils though, I will say that you are not able to erase it. I've already done it before, and what it's going to do is it will lift the color a little bit, but it won't erase it altogether unless you sketch lightly. Then that way you're able to get the pencil off a little bit easier. And I've also noticed that when you're using a different color altogether, the pigments, or not the pigment, I'm sorry, the lead it gets softer, in my opinion, or maybe it's better translated onto the paper better, because I'm using the red here right now, and it was a lot easier for me to get those dark, bright colors compared to the blue sketch at the top. Obviously, when you're using black, you'll get black, and it's a bright color on the paper against the white, so you're able to achieve that very quickly. But with the red here, it's so bright, and I am such a sucker for it. I love it. I love how soft the lead is with this type of color, and it just looks so good on the paper. And with this sketch, I'm actually using an entirely different color to color this sketch, and I'm using kind of like a bluish purple. And the reason why I'm using this is because I didn't want to use black again, because I already used black in the last sketch. And I wanted to test out how these colors layer on top of each other as well. And honestly, they look amazing. I love when you're using like a different colored line art for your sketches and kind of having that soft color look to your drawings in combination with hard lines as well, just like how I'm drawing her eyelashes here. It looks so good to me. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just how it looks so cartoony, it looks so bright and bold and stylized, and just everything in between. I love the look of it. And being able to use like a darker color rather than black, sometimes it makes a big difference, and sometimes it adds more to that style of art and it looks more appealing. But honestly, I feel that these pencils altogether are just really good for being able to achieve that type of effect, because they are so good with layering. They are also very good with blending, which later on in this sketch, you'll be able to see that in some parts I've started to blend multiple colors together, and also used certain colors to add highlights, which I didn't even realize you were able to do with pencil, because if you're sketching on, like if you have a dark color base and you have a light colored pencil to draw onto that base, I feel that it would be harder to do, because the dark color pencil will overpower the light colored pencil. But although it's not the best, you are able to achieve that if you continue to layer over and over again. You are able to achieve that, and it is very bright on the paper when you do that, and very noticeable, which is why I feel like, in my opinion, these pencils are a pretty good starter supply set to have when you want to learn about color, but you don't want to feel intimidated when you use something that's a little bit more permanent, like marker or paint or anything like that. At least with colored pencil, if you sketch light enough, if you ever change your mind, you can erase it. But of course, when you draw a little bit darker, then you can't really erase it as much. You can definitely add adjustments to it, but I feel that if you do, you would still be able to see a little bit of the under pencil underneath it, and it would be a little apparent depending on what you're drawing. But I love also, I love a lot of things about these pencils as a whole. I do appreciate that Arrtx sent me the 126 set, and I've said it in the other review video as well for the acrylic markers. I love when companies have big sets of colors to choose from, because you have a wider range of colors to use when you need to add highlights, to add shades, and all of the good stuff to elevate your art. And having 126 pencils to choose from is absolutely amazing. I've been practicing over the years to be able to layer colors on top of each other when you have a limited palette. But being able to have this many colors allows you to, be more quick about what types of colors you want to use, rather than just kind of thinking about, oh, what kind of color should I use for this? And then you have to spend some time mixing those colors as well, or kind of, just going for it, I guess, if you have no time available and just saying, you know what, whatever, I'll use this color and see what happens. I've done that so many times. But this time around, I love how many options there are. And I also love that, no matter what, these colored pencils work so well together when they're layered on top of each other. Even if the colors don't work together, in my opinion, I feel that they will still look really good on the paper. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the amount of options you have. And I also really love just how cute they look. I don't know. The aesthetics of these pencils are just so good to me too. Like, the stars are just everything, honestly. I guess the only downside of these pencils as well, that I haven't talked about yet, is one of the downsides. You do have to, keep sharpening these pencils, but not because obviously you're using it, but because of the lead and how soft the lead is. Sometimes they do break easily, and it depends on the color that you're using as well. So you may have to invest in a pencil sharpener that doesn't go too hard on your pencils, and to just make sure that you're not pressing too hard, because of how, not incredibly soft they are, but they are prone to breaking easily. So just be careful with that. But I feel like it doesn't matter what type of brand you use. Colored pencils are colored pencils, and they're going to act the way that they want to act. So just be careful, and to just pay attention to how much you're using, because I've learned that even though I've just been sketching these pencils, I've seen myself sharpening so much to the point where it's a lot shorter compared to the other pencils. So I would just say be careful, and make the most out of these pencils. And I'm trying to think of what else. Honestly, I feel like that's it. That's how good these pencils are. And I don't usually, like I already mentioned, I don't usually use colored pencils on a daily basis unless if I'm sketching or lightly coloring something. But I am so happy that I'm adding this to my collection, because if I ever want to color something, but I don't want it to bleed onto the other page, or I want it to, have a little bit of color onto your sketch, I feel like these pencils are very good for that. They are also very capable of adding color to a very extravagant, very detailed drawing. I'm not really going into detail here because, like I said, they're just sketches, but they are capable of doing that, and that's why they are so good. And I'm very glad to add this to my collection of art supplies, because I can see myself using these again. I can see myself continuing to sketch with these. And honestly, I feel like they would be very good for mixed media too. I didn't explore it in this video, but I am going to try and use it for mixed media because of how good they are on the paper and how lovely they layer. I'm sure that pen or watercolor would be so good with this combination. And I do encourage mixed media because you're able to see what types of supplies work together, and if you ever want to make a really big piece one day, then you know what supplies work together, so that when you use them together, then you won't be able to ruin your piece. Because I've had that problem so many times in the past, and it made me a little upset. Not even a little, it made me a lot upset. But yeah, just kind of a tip there. And I'm very grateful that these pencils just look so great on the paper and that they elevate my sketches. I'm just grateful for Arrtx altogether for gifting me these supplies. So yeah, and look at the color on the paper. And this is a lighter color too, so it just looks so good. I love them. I love them so, so much. But with that, I hope that you enjoyed this little review because I feel like this is kind of a quicker review altogether, but I do recommend these colored pencils. They are amazing. You can find them in the link down below if you want to support the company. But thank you so much to Arrtx again for gifting me these supplies, and I hope you enjoyed this review. I will see you guys next time.